So you got into college. Awesome. You were probably all about grades, essays, right? But did you ever stop and think about the huge digital footprint you created just by applying? Yeah, from that very first click, your university started collecting a ton of your personal data. It really makes you wonder, just how safe is all that information?
Okay, so your grades and your address, that's a given. But we're talking about so much more. What about your fingerprint to get into the gym? Or your medical records from when you got that flu shot on campus? Even what you eat in the cafeteria. This isn't just a list of facts about you, it's practically a map of your entire life. Let's talk about your digital campus ID. It all kicks off the second you hit submit on that application. From then on, every single time you swipe your ID card or log into the student portal, you're adding another little piece to this digital story. And it's a story your university is writing down and keeping. I mean, think about it. We're so far past the days of dusty old paper files locked in a cabinet somewhere. Now, everything, and I mean everything, from your admission forms to your assignments, saved on the cloud, and even your attendance, which, yeah, is sometimes tracked with your fingerprint. It's all part of this massive digital world. So, what exactly is your college collecting on you? You're probably thinking, oh, it's just my grades and stuff, but you'd be surprised. The reality is way, way bigger, and honestly, a lot more personal. Yeah, your transcripts, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's what's underneath the surface that's kind of wild. There's a huge amount of data being collected that paints this incredibly detailed picture of who you are. Okay, just look at this list. This gives you an idea of what we're talking about. Of course, you've got your personal details, but then there's family info, financial data like bank accounts, your health records, and even biometric data like your fingerprints or face scans. And get this, even disciplinary notes or records from counseling. Just take a second and imagine if that stuff got into the wrong hands. The potential for serious misuse is frankly staggering. All right, so with all this super sensitive information floating around, you have to ask, how are these schools supposed to protect it? Well, there is a right way to do it, kind of like a playbook they should all be following. And that playbook is called a Standard Operating Procedure, or SOP for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a rule book for data privacy. A really good SOP makes sure that every single step, from the moment they collect your data to the moment they delete it, is handled the right way, responsibly and legally. So a really solid SOP has 5 key parts. Let's break them down. First up is consent. They have to ask for your permission and tell you why they need your data. Next is minimization. This is a big one. They should only collect what is absolutely necessary, nothing more. Third, security. They gotta use things like encryption to keep it safe. Fourth, access control, which just means only the right people should be able to see specific information. And last but not least, deletion. There has to be a clear plan for when they're gonna permanently get rid of your data. If any of these are missing, that's a huge red flag. Okay, so that's how it should work in a perfect world. But what happens when that playbook gets tossed out the window? Well, as we're about to see, things can get really bad really fast. Let's take a look at a real-world story. In 2023, a university in New Delhi had this major security issue. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't some super genius hacker. Nope. It was just a simple mistake, a misconfigured server. And what happened? Over 40,000 student profiles were just left exposed for anyone on the internet to see. We're talking ID numbers, exam results, everything. Just let that sink in. One simple error put all those students at risk. And it's not always about techie stuff like servers. There was another case where a college just accidentally published a public Google Drive link. And what was in it? Students' private financial info and community certificates. The point is, these breaches can happen in shockingly simple ways, but the damage is always, always serious. Hearing all this, it's pretty easy to feel kind of helpless, right?
But you're not powerless here. You actually have rights, and there are things you can do. So let's get into how you can protect yourself. First things first, you gotta know your rights. Depending on where you are in the world, there are laws to protect you, like FERPA in the US, GDPR in Europe, or the DPDP Act in India. These laws generally give you the right to see the data they have on you, the right to fix it if it's wrong, and the right to file a complaint if you think they're messing up. But it's not just about the law. You can be proactive too. I know it's a pain, but actually read the privacy policies on college apps before you just click agree. If they ask for information that seems kind of weird or unnecessary, ask them why they need it. Don't just upload every personal document you have. And hey, if you see someone sharing sensitive student info on something like a WhatsApp group, you should absolutely report it. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that this has to be a shared responsibility. It can't just be up to the colleges to protect the data, and it can't just be up to you to be careful. It really has to be a partnership. The schools need to have strong systems in place, and we, as students, need to stay informed and keep our eyes open.
At the end of the day, it comes down to this. Your data is basically your story. And right now, that story is being collected and saved like never before. So the big question you have to ask yourself is, are you the one in control of who gets to read it?